Hey everyone, happy Saturday night. I hope you are having a great night. I hope you had a great day. And for my friends who are around here who get hit by these huge storms, if your power is out, I hope it comes back really quickly. Ours flickered a couple of times, but fortunately it hung on and we did not lose our power because, of course, my kids sort of freaked out. What are we going to do? We don't have any lights. But we did not lose our power, which was nice. So I wanted to come here tonight. I know it's really late, and that's what happens on Saturday nights because, as you saw from my picture before, Micha and I were hanging out. We were watching some TV, just enjoying some quiet time because it was hot, hot, hot here today. So everybody stayed in, so it was a long day. And we just enjoyed some quiet time after the kids are in bed and after Shabbat, watching some TV. So I hope you did something fun today or this evening. If you did, give me a shout out and let me know what you did so we can, maybe get some fun ideas of other fun things to do. I think tomorrow, I don't know what we're doing. We may be going to the movies because it's still going to be so hot here. But I don't know. We'll have to see what the day brings. But tonight I wanted to talk to you about something that I was thinking about today, and that is the lessons that we can get from a jigsaw puzzle. Okay, now I know that sounds kind of crazy, but I am a jigsaw puzzle lover. I can sit here and work on puzzles. That's my favorite. One of my favorite things to do on Shabbat is I'll sit and I'll work on a jigsaw puzzle, or I'll read. Those are the two things. I'm hanging out with the kids. But I was working on my puzzle today. I started a new puzzle. I actually started it last week. After I finished the last one I was working on last week and then pulled it apart and started a new one. And when I opened up this one that I'm working on now, it was, I looked at the picture and I was like, this is going to be kind of difficult, right? And some puzzles, I love to do 1,000-piece puzzles. So some puzzles that we look at them and we think it's going to be really hard, and we open it and it's super duper easy and I fly right through them. Some puzzles that I do, I look at and say, this is going to be super duper easy, and it's really hard. And in some I look at and they're easy, and they really are easy, right? So I was thinking today, because the puzzle that I opened up last week, I am a big Harry Potter fan. My kids are big Harry Potter fans, so I'm actually going to show you what the puzzle is. My daughter was going through helping me sort some pieces. So the puzzle, I have the whole set of them. We are doing, whoops, I didn't flip my camera around. We are doing the Harry Potter series of puzzles. This is the first one. So I've got them for all the books. For those of you who, gotta flip my camera back around. We're big Harry Potter fans. Big, big, big. So big that part of my daughter's bat mitzvah is all revolving around Harry Potter, the whole Shabbat piece of it. Actually, I got the whole set of these. I have one for each of the books with the idea. I got it forever ago, before we had even finalized the idea that we were going to do Harry Potter with her bat mitzvah, but when it was just sort of tooling around as a thought. And I got all of them saying, oh, maybe we'll put them together and use them for something for that weekend. Well, I can tell you there's no way all 7 of them are going to be done by the time the bat mitzvah rolls around, because they're harder than they look, right? And actually this one's not, but I looked at it, and when I opened up the pieces last week, my girls are like, that's going to be really hard, Mommy, because it's not, like, some of them that are easier, right, have a lot of little details, whatever, that are easier to put together, but this is a lot of the same colors. I'm going to flip this back around so you can see it. A lot of the same colors, right? And so we started saying these are going to be really hard, and I started sorting them out last week when we started doing them, thinking the same thing. This is going to be really hard. And trust me, it's definitely not on one of the easier puzzles that I've done. And as we get into more of the books, like there's one of them that is pretty much all blues, right? The Order of the Phoenix. But what's really cool about this is there were so many of them that had like funky shapes to them, right? Let me see if I can, like this one. It was a really funky shape, or this one. It's a really funky shape. Hey, Francie, right there. Some of them that were really funky shapes. So it was easier to sort of fill that in. And as I was doing this today and finding those funky shapes and whatever, and I started saying to my kids, I was like, this isn't going to be as hard as I think it's going to be. And I still think it's going to be pretty hard, and it's still going to take me time. But I really started relating this whole idea to life, right? We look at things and we go into life, and pieces, things that we're going through in our life. We can look at all of life as a jigsaw puzzle, right? We're creating this whole big picture, this beautiful picture that's going to, be great at the end. But we can also look at little, each different section, each season, each journey, each piece of our journey that we're going through as different puzzles. right? And some things are harder to get together. Some things piece together really super, super easily and all come together beautifully, really easily. And some things we think are going to be super easy and they're not. They're really hard. And sometimes we have things that we think are going to be really, really hard. And life throws us a bone, right? Life gives us those pieces that are just super odd shaped so we know exactly how to fit them in, and it makes it easier. And I was really, this whole concept of this really just sort of struck me as I was thinking about it, as I was sitting here doing this puzzle tonight or this afternoon, right? That's really, hey Gail, that's really how life works. Life is really just like one big jigsaw puzzle. Right? And we have to piece those things together, and we have to find what fits right now, right? So as I was, searching for pieces, and I could piece together and I could find, okay, well, maybe I'm not ready to do, I'll show you my puzzle so far. And each one that I do in a different system. I don't always do it, but this one I started working from the bottom, right? Hey, Michael, Shavua Tov, Gail. I started working from the bottom, right? Because that was a system that I could do, and I could fill in those pieces, right? Sometimes I do things differently, each puzzle, but it was step by step. It was baby steps that I could go through, right? And I've got a big chunk of the bottom done in, and you can see my blue pieces and my red pieces. And I know I'm missing some of those pieces. So I actually asked my kids to help go through the pile of pieces to help me figure out what they are. Find some more of the blue and reds that I might have missed, right? To get as much of that piece done so that I can move on to the next step. And that really just, that's how things work in life, right? We do things in sections. We do things in pieces. We move along, one gradual step at a time. We find the things that are odd shaped that make them easy to fit in so that it works and we can go forward, which I thought was just really just a whole amazing analogy for life, because it's the same thing, right? If we take it all on at once, if we take one big chunk all at once, it becomes really overwhelming, right? When I see this pile of pieces in my box and go, oh my goodness, where am I going to find spots for all these pieces, right? That looks really overwhelming. And my kids, when I first opened the thing last week, and they looked at and they saw that it was not as easy as some of the other puzzles that sometimes we do, they were all sort of overwhelmed. But when I said today, I was like, look, the bottom's coming together nicely, all the red and blues, it wasn't as overwhelming, and they wanted to jump in and help. And that's how we have to look at life, right? What are small pieces that we can do that's not so overwhelming? How can we section things apart and do one section at a time and not jump in? And I talk about this a lot with my clients, right? When I'm helping people create new healthy habits, which is really about my program. Hey, Neil, Shavua Tov. When somebody's starting, right? If I were to say to somebody, a client, okay, you're going to all week one, you're going to change your nutrition. You're going to change the amount of water you're drinking. You're going to pick up your healthy motion. You're going to start sleeping better. They're going to go, and really be freaked out, right? That's really, really scary to make all those changes all at once. But if we take one small section at a time, one small habit at a time, and work on these things one piece at a time and grow with them one piece at a time, it's not as overwhelming. And that's really how it is with this jigsaw puzzle, right? I took the bottom, and first I did the frame. I always do the frame first, right? But I'm still missing some pieces in my frame. I'm missing 2 pieces in my frame that haven't shown up, but that's okay, right? I built the frame first. I built the framework, which is the same with building new healthy habits, right? We build the framework first. And so when I'm helping someone change their life, we start with nutrition. That's the first piece of the framework. So we build the frame first, and then we take things and we go one step at a time, one healthy habit at a time. It's all the same, right? It's all the same kinds of concepts. And the other thing that I was thinking through when I was thinking about this today was sort of my attitude on doing puzzles. I love to do puzzles, okay? It's my fun time. It's my relaxing time. And sometimes when I'm doing a puzzle, I don't want anyone helping me. I don't want anybody to touch it. I don't want, right? It's my thing. It's my whatever, right? That's sometimes. Sometimes I really want help, right? And I beg for help. And sometimes when I beg for help, they don't want to help. And sometimes when I beg for help, they do. They'll say, okay, I want to help. Like today, I kept saying to Emma, hey, Emma, come over and help me. And she wanted nothing to do with it because it was still looking sort of scary to her, I think. But when I asked Madeline was all in. Okay, I'll sit here and go through the pieces and help you find the reds and the blues, right? So, but that's really like a huge analogy for me in my life. I'm the same way in my life. Sometimes certain things in my life, I want help. Right? Help. I'm struggling with this, and I could use another partner in this or multiple partners in this. And sometimes in my life, I can say, stay away. I just need to do this on my own, right? I just need to think through this. I just need to do this on my own. This is my thing. And that's okay too. And then sometimes I'll ask for help and somebody will be annoying me with the help that they're giving, usually one of my children, who's going to remain nameless, will get annoying with it. And I'll just say, you got to back off, right? This isn't the help that I need. You're not being helpful. And it's really important to recognize that in our lives. Like I said, these were all, as I was processing through this tonight, these were all really real lessons of how we look at life in general, right? Sometimes we want help. Sometimes we need help. And sometimes within that, we need help, but we don't know how to ask for it, or we don't realize how helpful somebody can be, right? So sometimes I'll have a kid or a husband who I'll be sitting here struggling with pieces on this puzzle, and they'll walk over and they'll see a piece that I'm staring at and don't see where it goes, and all of a sudden they'll pick it up and they'll say, oh, it goes right here. Wow, right? Thank you. I didn't even know that I needed the help, right? I didn't even know that and so it's all, and I'm appreciative of it, right? I would never say to somebody, why did you do that, right? No, once they come in and they're actually helpful, even if I think that I don't want help at the time, I'm appreciative of it, because usually that's a piece that I'm like, wait, if I can figure out where this goes, or it's frustrating me because I can't find the piece that goes in that spot, and they come over and they see it, it's a different, fresh set of eyes, right? And that's so true in life. Sometimes we just need a fresh set of eyes. I get this a lot with clients, right? They'll call me and they'll ask me something and they know the answer, right? None of this takes a rocket scientist, right? They know the answers, or I know the answers. But sometimes hearing a fresh voice or seeing a fresh set of eyes on a situation just opens us up to being able to go to the next level, right? It opens us up to being able to think more clearly on it. Do the next step, get to the next place. And that's really, really important, to take a step back and look at that. So, I guess sort of the lessons that I wanted to share with you tonight that I've learned from my jigsaw puzzle is, first, do it in sections. Don't try to take it on all at once, right? I mean, I teach my kids this with jigsaw puzzles all the time. The first thing you do is build the frame, right? Build your framework, right? In whatever you're doing, do it in sections, do it in small bite-sized pieces. Otherwise, you're going to get really overwhelmed, right? And go and recognize that some pieces of these journeys, some things are harder than we expect them to be. And sometimes things are going to be easier than we expect them to be, right? And sometimes they're just going to be sort of right in the middle. And any of those things are okay, but just keep going, right? This puzzle might take me a while to get through because it is kind of a difficult one. But that's okay. If I keep plowing along a little bit at a time, I'm going to get there. It's going to get solved, and I'll come back at some point and show you the final picture of it. It might be, maybe I'll race through it, and maybe it's going to take me several months. I don't know how long it's going to take, but enjoy that journey. Enjoying the journey of while we're doing it is so important, and learning, figuring out what we can learn from it, and, asking for help, right? Those are such key things. Asking for help, recognizing in yourself when you need the help, when you don't need the help, right? Or when you don't want the help, and being okay with that when somebody wants the help, right? Accepting that, because sometimes, I don't know about you, but for me, sometimes it's hard to accept help on things. But once I'm offered it, I appreciate it. So hopefully my lessons from my jigsaw puzzle will strike a chord with you, and maybe you can take this and apply this into your life some way, somehow. But I just thought it was really sort of a powerful analogy this evening, and so I wanted to share it, because usually when I come up with something like this, somebody comes back to me and says, wow, thanks, that really resonated with me. So if it resonated with you at all, shoot me a message, or either comment in the comments, or and let other people know, or shoot me a message. And maybe we can, if you're struggling with something that seems so huge and so overwhelming, like a 1,000-piece puzzle can, right? Let's talk through it and figure out what are those first. How can we build your frame first, right? And how can we do things in sections so that we can get you to your goal and get that overall beautiful picture that you're trying to create. I hope you have a wonderful night. I am going to sleep because it's late, though I slept a lot of the day today, which is why I'm still up at whatever time it is, after 1 o'clock. But I hope you have a great day and a great Sunday with whatever you're doing. And I will be back tomorrow night at some point. Have a good one. Bye.